constantly. Do you remember going out to the parks, going outside every day and just battling the servers? Constantly. When Niantic was humbled by our amazing player count and just, oh my god, you'd be outside for like, I literally felt like you could be outside for like a good hour just looking around, seeing if anyone else is, doing a little curveball, because you just couldn't log in. You would just look at your phone and that was it. The blue screen of death, which Niantic was so humbled by our amazing need to play Pokemon Go. But yeah, man, those times are rough. I remember one time in specific, I went out and I just was like, I wasn't sure if I should go back home or stay and play, because the servers were just such trash. And even if you could log in, you would just like get logged back out, and it was really laggy, and oh man, it was hard. It's one of the early things I feel like no one really remembers. It was like the dark time, but you didn't really care as much because we're so used to be able to play every day and do what we want to do now. But at those times, even though we wanted to play because it was so brand new and so fun, it wasn't as detrimental. But when I look back, oh my god, that was hell on earth. Like, just constantly log in, trying to log in, retry, failure to log in. Man, I'm so happy that's done with. I was a player of many other video games, like a huge RPG player, loved playing FPS growing up. I still love all those games now. New Mario game coming soon, I'm hyped for it. In the end though, I have to totally give Niantic props for balancing, because I'm a huge fighting game player, like huge, man. I love Street Fighter, love BlazBlue, all that stuff, and their move balancing in Pokemon Go has been like immaculate. I like, my personal opinion, and it's just changed so much. We're constantly going through shifts. If you remember early on, Vaporeon ruled the world. Like, who cares what you put in a gym, because Water Gun did 10 damage, it was lightning fast, and Vaporeon had 200 HP. So it had more HP than Dragonite, a little less than Snorlax, but basically the same level of attacking power as a Dragonite, and it was 100 times less rare. Anyone can catch a couple EVs and just get lucky and evolve a Vaporeon. And you didn't even have to get lucky, because it had a name, not glitch, but a name trick that you could just name it. I don't even remember what you name it, because I never did the name trick, because I had a ton of Vaporeons. You didn't even need to do it. So it's like, man, things have really changed. Water Gun was pretty much unbeatable, and it didn't even matter for Vaporeon because you could only get Water Gun. It wasn't like you could get a bad move for the quick attack. You could always just had Water Gun. There was nothing else you could get. So it's really crazy, because there's a time when Vaporeon ruled everything, and now after a while they went and changed it to the point that now Jolteon can actually compete with Vaporeon. They actually raised Pinsir's overall CP. Now, I'm not even gonna lie to you. For number 2, I'm gonna call it the tracker. I never ever understood the tracker. Like, I kinda understood the 3 steps, maybe? I don't know. Like, the steps were less if you got closer, but then they took the 3 steps away, and then there was no steps, and I think grass, and then after that there was no steps and no grass. Like, I don't even remember. The tracker has just been like problems since day one. Now things are a little bit better, and you can click on the tracker and you can legit go to the Pokestop that it's saying the Pokemon is at, and it's right there. It's relatively right there, so it's pretty clean. Personally, I still think there's some problems. The biggest quality of life change that I felt the game has ever brought was transferring. Oh my god, I can't even tell you the horror stories of when I would forget to do nightly transfers and try and go back out the next day and play? Impossible. You couldn't do it. Transferring used to take so long because the servers were shit, and transferring was just terrible. Going all the way down, swiping to the bottom, then there was a little laggy map at the bottom that made you lag even more, and it took forever. Sometimes you would have to literally spend a good 30 minutes just getting a good 30 minutes worth of transfers in if you forgot to transfer before you left the house and you went out to do a good long grind. You'd just be like, oh my goodness, what is going on? Like, it was just terrible, man. It was terrible. So, I mean, and everyone used to just be like, dude, I can't wait until you can just hold it and just mass delete, just like I do with the pictures on my phone. Like, that's all you needed, was just the same way you delete pictures in your phone, needed to be the same way you delete Pokemon. And I'm happy Niantic actually got that. Like, what I envisioned was exactly what we got for transferring. So I was just like, thank you, Niantic. You understood, you actually did it right, and you fully just followed through on it. Granted, it kind of took a while. Like, why couldn't that be one of the first quality of life changes that we got? But nonetheless, we got it, and it was actually good. So I'm not gonna complain. And that was just like one of the biggest, I remember just one of the biggest jokes back in the day. Like, oh my god, where's the mass transfer? Dude, you can mass transfer on next patch. And then you couldn't, and I was all heartbroken, blah blah blah. But eventually it did come around, and just, I'm happy it did. Man, this one kind of sucks, and I guess that's why I saved it for last. I mean, I guess I should have done it first to make the video a little more happy and not end off on a bad note. But man, the speed cap, ugh. Man, that was a killer for me, because restocking was just so important if you're grinding hard every day, regardless of who you are, whatever. Restocking, at least in my city, or at least from what I've seen, is primarily done while riding around in the car. It's the easiest way to hit a large amount of Pokestops quickly. And when it came to the point where you couldn't hit Pokestops if you're going like over 30, over 20, like, man, it was a killer. I understand not being able to catch the Pokemon, it sucks, but the fact that you couldn't hit Pokestops over a certain miles per hour just really, really, really made it hard. Now, you just gotta make sure you're going really damn slow and staying super consistent on that slow pace, because if you go above that speed cap once, then it kind of locks you out for like 10 seconds, and that's always a bummer because then you're missing more stops. Just, the speed cap was a killer. It really was. I know when it first happened, a lot of people were just rage mode, you know, saying they're gonna quit the game, blah blah blah. Eventually we adapted, we adjusted, and yes, I do understand that it is for the safety of players, and not even players, the safety of everyone else, anyone in a car, safety of traffic in general. It's just, yeah, you shouldn't be playing Pokemon Go in a car. You know, I know that, well, I'm a passenger. And yeah, I know, it sucks, it sucks. Now, I know there was way more than 5 things changed in the game. The game has changed quite a bit, and I know I mentioned some and didn't go into them, but I plan to save those for a later top 5, just another time in general. If you have any cool things that you want to talk about in the Pokemon game that has changed, be sure to leave them in the comments. If you like the video, drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment just cause. It always warms my heart a little bit. So, with that, I'll leave you guys. Have fun hunting in Gen 2. And just, let's wait for that next big update. Hopefully legendary soon. You know, cross your fingers. You know, just cross your fingers, cross your toes, dude. Seriously, it'd be so awesome. Man, I would love it. Battling, trading. Please, please, please. Anyway, I guess Jimmy Pitts Pokemon Go, and I am out of here.